Hi there, welcome back to part 2 of the skulls. I am Miranda from Miranda May Designs and co-creator at Piglet's Closet. If you watched my earlier video, we were working on some different skulls that I am decorating, and so I actually have 4 here. These are the 3 that I showed you last time, so that we worked on. This is how the mold turned out on this one. Hopefully you can see it. Pretty fun. It's dry, ready for paint, so I'm going to work on that one later. But first I want to show you guys a technique I'm going to use. This is the other one I'm just working on too. I also did another mold, and I'm going to add some resin molds. This is the paper mold, and I'm going to paper clay, and I'm going to add some resin molds, gears on the top here. So I'll do that later as well. I won't keep you on too long. I'm going to show you a new product to me that I've been actually wanting to use for a long time. It's the Dixie Belle Patina. Today I'm going to be using the copper with the green spray, and I'm going to play around with it a little bit because I want to make it look like it's going to kind of rust and drip. So we'll play with that together. So these are the cogs, the molds that I'm going to be using. So this is what I used. I used the copper and some of the patina spray on there. Here's kind of an example. So anywhere that you get the spray, so when you spray it, it will start to patina. So this one has more spray that I put on it, and then some of them I tried to do a little bit less for some variation. And I'm going to try today, instead of spraying, because I don't really want it on the rest of my paint, I'm going to try using a paintbrush and putting the patina spray on it. So first thing we need to do is do the copper. And I'm going to, excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold, so. So the cogs are going to go up in this corner here. So I know that. So I know that I want some patina drippiness kind of up, coming down here, maybe some down here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, so what it says to do is put one coat on and then let it dry, and then put another coat on and then add the spray. I'm not going to follow the directions today probably, so do as I say, not as I do today probably. We're going to see how this goes. The reason is I really want, and I'm not even sure if you're supposed to do this either, but I really want to try to get some natural dripping looking pattern here. So I'm playing around today. Can you see some of the copper gets, yeah, see, I want some of that copper to drip down in there. So we're going to do this again. And if it doesn't work out, then that's okay. We can repaint it. But I wanted to play and try. It's always fun to kind of play with your products. You never know what's going to happen. So I don't know if you can see that starting to drip down into the cracks. Probably should have my paper towel down. Oh yeah, it's even getting into there, so that's cool. Okay, so it's getting into the mouth of it too. So I'm going to just kind of keep it like this. I think I might do a little bit more water, and we're just going to let it run. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Kind of want it to run down that way. Whoops. And of course I'm spraying my rice paper over here. I'm going to move that. That's for our next project. All right, so this is going to take probably a little bit to dry. I also want some coming down here underneath this eye, I decided. So I'm going to kind of start the same way and just let it kind of go where it's gonna drip. There we go. So this will be interesting to see what happens with the Patina Spray because it's not gonna have too much copper on it in some places. In some places it will have more, and that's okay. And I can always go back and kind of paint it later. If I want to take some copper away, I can. I think I'm gonna leave it. I like where it's running. Hopefully you can see this. I know it's kind of a bad angle. I'm just gonna leave it up to run. Okay, so we're gonna let this dry. I'm just looking at it to see what I like and don't like. Oh yeah, there we go. So I'm just gonna encourage the copper to run more here. And I might do the same here. Just lightly brushing it into the water to get some more wet so it's not built up in one spot. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I have a spot where I hang these so that they don't fall. So I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna hang it and I'm going to let it dry. I'm gonna put this dripping pad underneath it. So we'll come back to that one in just a little bit, hopefully, if it does dry. Make sure this doesn't fall. All right, I'm getting the drips right. Okay, so let's go ahead and while we're waiting for that, and I can use a heat gun later if I need to. We're gonna work on this one. So this one I decided that I wanted the green. This is the vintage duck egg from Wise Owl. One of my favorite colors. It's the chalk synthesis paint. And I'm just gonna move this. And get some plastic. Okay, so I decided I'm gonna use this Posh Chalk. This is the Posh Script Decoupage Paper. This is just a piece I have left over from it. Always save your pieces because you never know what you're gonna use them for. And I'm gonna show you a technique that I use on this. And I decided that I wanted it to be, sometimes when I use this paper, I'll put white underneath so it really pops. But this one, I just kind of wanted to be more of an accent piece. And this here might also get some cogs. I'm not entirely sure yet, so I might have to pour some more. Sometimes I just don't know what I'm gonna do, and that's why things always take time. So let me put this brush in water so it doesn't get dried out. Okay. All right. So to do this, I usually like to make kind of ruffled, ripped edges. And so I'm going to show you how I do that. If I'm just going to decoupage on first and then kind of put the paint up around it, then I won't necessarily do this technique. But I'm going to, I'm just going to kind of piece some papers on here. So the first thing I want to do, so I got to kind of turn around and look. So I know generally I like to have like a piece of paper coming, you know, down here or over here, so we can kind of choose. And I'm going to use the Decoupage Matte Gel from Redesign with Prima. It's almost gone, but I love this gel. It works great with the rice papers. It doesn't make the color on the rice papers bleed that I've had any trouble with. And when I use like a water-based Mod Podge or something like that, I have had it make the colors kind of just bleed and turn a different color and not look very nice. So got my coffee. I don't know where you guys are. It's a cold day here. I know it's probably not as cold as some places, but I'm in Washington and it's kind of got a chill in the air. So I'm probably going to use this piece maybe even like right here. Although that probably, so when I do the ripped edges, I will show you what I'm gonna do. So I just use a very small brush. I just get these at like Michael's art store. I've got a bunch of them. And I have a little cup of water. So all I'm gonna do is brush on some water. And what I want to do is just go right along the very edge. So this, I kind of want the script, I think I kind of want it here. So I want to start, the first thing I want to do is start right along this edge because I don't want to waste too much, but I need to get this to look less natural, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So we're just going to let it soak in. My hand's in the way. I'm kind of just creating an edge where I think I want it, and then once it has a little bit of time to soak in, you can just rip it, and it leaves that kind of fur from the rice paper on the edges, and that's what I want. Okay, so I know I kind of want it around, let's see, and it's up to you. Like, I'm gonna leave this white here. I might bring it down a little bit, but I'm gonna have some stuff on top, so that doesn't bother me too much. If you wanted to, you could just take it where the script is, and we'll kind of see how we like it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this here. I'm gonna go around this eye, while giving it a little bit of extra. So you want to, the water will bleed, if you will, it will kind of spread on the rice paper. So if you know you kind of need an exact line, you might want to overshoot it a little bit. So that way you won't be, because you can always come back and take off more. So that I know is going to be one on the outside of that line. So I went a little far, so I really want it like there. Let's see how that did. Yep, that'll be good. Yep. Okay. And then I'm kind of going to, probably going to cut off the eye. I'm not going to trace the eye too much more there, so I'm just going to take that piece off. And again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. I do save pieces like this because you never know what you'll use them for. I do need to get rid of this up here. Got a straight line, which I don't want. All right. And then I'll probably come across probably don't want too much, so let me get it. Let's start down here. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. That is my kind of one of the reasons why I like these so much. So I can feel the end down here. I usually come right to the edge of the teeth. So I may just wrap around here. And again, we can always kind of change it up. So I am gonna cut off some of this. come back. Here. And okay. Sorry for the sniffles, guys. It's probably annoying. All right, so here's what I came up with so far. Put it on and see how I like it. Yeah, that'll look nice. Okay, so I'm going to do kind of that big chunk along here. I think I might put some of this probably down along here, and I may even use, just take a little bit off the edge there and just use a tiny little chunk there, and then I probably will put one up here, but we're going to see. So we're going to start with this. So I like where this is going so far. So what I'm going to do is take my, I think I want a bigger brush than that, slightly. Okay, and I'm just going to go right where I think it's going to fit. Just dipping it into my container. You can also take a little bit out if you don't want to contaminate or anything, but I kind of just use it. Okay, so I think that's about where the paper is going to fall, and then we can come back and pick up any areas that we didn't get. Okay, yep, so we missed the top there, but so what I'm going to do is just kind of work. If there's any areas, I don't mind if it gets a little wrinkly. It's part of the look kind of that I'm going for. So I also use, for decoupage, I save, you know, plastic wrap from different things. You can use saran wrap, but it helps decrease the friction when you're doing decoupage, and so I really like being able to kind of work the paper without ripping it. So I'm just going to go back under here. And I'm going to come up here and do this that I missed. Okay, and then I can just take and go over it with my brush, because you want to seal it on the top too. So I get the bottom done, and this paper is thin, and so the decoupage does kind of seal through it, which is good, because if there's any spots that you missed, it'll help you get it sealed. But I do like to make sure I have kind of on both sides. Don't like that, so I'm going to pick it up. But do you see how the paper, and it will dry a little bit lighter, but it is kind of, it's a translucent because it's white. So you can see the veins from the rice paper a little bit, but the words are showing up, but it kind of, it really blends with the color of the vintage duck egg, the paint that we put in, I put in there. And I love the veins. I think it just adds to the vintage look. So I'm just, I want to get into this groove here, this seam, because I want that to pop. Same thing with here. Okay. Turn it around, and I'm going to work on this side. Try not to spill my water. So then I'll show you what I do here in this edge. I'm actually going to, I need my scissors. Here they are. I'm actually going to cut. So right here, I need to just take and cut. Sometimes, well, let me see if I can tear it. It'll look better. There we go. Okay, so that way I can then wrap it around and just have it kind of look very natural. Some more here. Let me get up under here. Wrap that over. There we go. And kind of pick it up and pull it a little bit. It does get a little fragile when it's wet with the decoupage medium, so you just have to be a little careful, but you do have some working time and working room with it. And I'm going to cut that off a little bit. Had a straight edge on there and I didn't want that. Okay, and it's kind of over the teeth, but I think we're gonna play with it a little bit here, so make sure I get it really good. I'm gonna see if I can get the grooves in the teeth to show. So I'm just using my nail, and I'm okay if it rips the paper a little bit to get in between the teeth, but I want it to lay down so that the teeth are visible. Like that. And we may come back and put some sparkle on them. So, all right, I'm just gonna go around, smooth everything down. And voila, so there is that, which is fun and also very kind of just simple, translucent, see-through. You can see the rice paper grains, but not too much of the white. What I might do is take, and since this does have a straight edge on it and it's a little piece, I might just take and run it right along there. And I'm using a different one, but that's okay. Have water so that you can put your brushes when you're done in the water so they don't get dried out. This stuff does harden them quite a bit. Oops, folded that over. So I'm gonna try to, there we go. Okay, a little bit more. All right, take my paper and I'm just gonna rub it down just to make sure it gets in the grooves. Okay, and we used salt wash on this last time underneath the first layer of the paint, so it has some texture to it. So I wanna make sure I'm adhering it to all places. So now I kind of have to decide, I can do another piece down here. It just kind of depends on how I want the wording. So this one actually looks like it was used on the other side. I had cut probably for another skull because it fits right in that mouth spot. So I might actually use that. Can't decide, that might be too much over here. I might have to just kind of do a piece down here. I think I'll do that. So I'm just gonna take and use my water brush and see. I want to make it a little bit exaggerated. Along here. Okay. And I think I will kind of follow this out and just do the very edge. So that it's got that frayed, more natural look. And some papers, you can do this really with all decoupage papers, the water technique, but some papers need a little bit more water, like because it's harder to soak through. So you just have to give it some more time. So I'm going to wrap that around like that. Okay. So you just have to play with it, and you'll kind of get to know your papers and how much water and time and how much seepage or kind of bleeding you'll get. The rice paper you tend to get quite a bit, so I just know that, and I plan for where I am putting it if I have to get it kind of exact, measured more exactly. These are pretty rough. Cuts, so I'm not too worried about precision. Okay, so that is the decoupage method that I wanted to show you, and I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of it. So I think I do like the color accent with the cogs on this one, so I'm probably going to end up making some more cogs. But we'll see. Kind of see how that goes. I really like these ones, they're fun. So something like that might look nice. And I could do some distressing too. I don't have to use the patina spray to do distressing, but we'll see. Okay, I'm going to use these, I know, because I want them on the other one, but I think I might do. Or I might even try the blue with the iron or the green with the iron and see what happens. So there's 3 colors of patina paint. So you've got bronze, the iron, and then the copper that we were using. So the bronze and the copper are similar, but not quite. And then if you put the green or the blue sprays on them, they turn different colors. So the green spray can be used on all 3, the bronze, copper, and the iron. The blue spray, they say for the bronze and the copper. But this is kind of the color there. So, okay, so we're going to put this one aside. I'm going to probably get out the heat gun real quick because I want to show you what this patina spray does before I let you go. So this is where we're at so far with the drippage. And actually, you know what? That it's wet, I think it's okay because it's supposed to be wet. I'll put this aside over here. Clean up my workspace a little bit. Okay. So what, I need to get my paper towel because I don't want this all over. What I am going to do is spray a little bit of this patina spray in here. So normally you can just spray it on, but because I don't want it, I don't know what it's going to do with the rest of my paint, and I do just want it in these areas here, I'm going to try this. I might need a little bit more. Okay, so let's see how this goes. I can also use, where did I put my droppers? Oh, here they are. Always a good question. So let's see this. I have a little dropper, so I might try pick some of this up and I don't want too much because I want some of the copper to show through. And so it's gonna take a minute, so I'm gonna do it slowly. And usually I let this dry overnight. Because it kind of continues to change a little bit, so you want to make sure you're letting it go through the chemical reaction completely so that you don't have any unexpected changing. We'll see if this is going to work. I might have to actually follow the directions. I've got water on here too, so, and I may also have to put some more copper on. I might just tip that over. Okay. So let's give it a minute and see if it'll start. Changing colors. Sorry, I know this is probably a slow video. At least you can fast forward it if you. I don't know. I think I might have to put another coat of copper without the water on it. Let's see. Let me take a minute. I'm going to see what happens if I do the heat gun. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to put another, because it's not changing, and I think part of it is probably because I put water in it. So I'm going to dry that off. I am going to just put some brush. I want to use that brush is in pretty bad shape. I buy these cheap ones because I tend to abuse them. All right, so I'm gonna try and just get the copper, leave some of that texture, but get the copper in areas that I can put the water or the spray. Let's see what happens here. I don't want it very thick. Oh, I can see it changing the skull, actually. It is changing it. It's just taking a little bit of time. It's changing, it kind of greened the color of the paint, which is why I'm trying to be more selective about, but that's okay because it will add to the overall aged look. All right, well, I'm gonna play with it. I will post a picture when it's done. It does take some time to kind of get that reaction going. So I'm not surprised that we're not seeing it right away. Put some more on that side over there. You can start to see the patina. I don't know if you can see that color in there, but right along here, it's starting to get green and patinaing. So I'm gonna leave it, I'm gonna hang it again. I'm gonna leave it and see how much I get, because it does take a little bit. And then if I need more, I will do some more. But I do want some of that copper really to come through. I don't want it all to get green and patinaed. So we'll give it some time. Yep, it's starting there too. Yep, so it's just gonna take a little bit, and I think part of it is because I have thinner coats on maybe, and because I did, I added water to that first coat, and it wasn't quite dry. But I think it's gonna work. So playing around, always super fun with your stuff. Remember, it's always paint, or it's only paint, so you can generally always fix it, redo it, start it, think of something new if you don't like what you came up with. So I'm gonna see how this goes. I'm gonna let you guys go, and I will post a picture of the finished product when I'm done. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and join us back again here sometime soon. All right, thanks so much. Bye.